On today's episode of Locked On Bulls, we'll be talking about the NBA Finals finishing at Game 6 as the Warriors clinch the series. We'll also talk about trades with Christian Wood and Rudy Gobert possibly going on the move to Atlanta and what that means for setting the market value for the 18th overall pick that the Chicago Bulls hold. We'll get into all that and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
Oh, no, show was good here.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls and making us your first listen every day. Locked On Bulls is a member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. That's Pat, the designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central, Chicago Bears. Listen, I do some stuff. That's all I got to say with it. I do some stuff out here. But on top of that, we're here to cover the Bulls today. We're going to open up Bulls legend Otto Porter Jr. is now an NBA champion.
Dog, somebody sent that in the Discord for the Breeze Bros. I think it was Ringo.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, forget you, dog. Like, I'm happy that Otto won a ring, but also all that great production you gave them, all that 3-and-D that you was solid with.
Now, granted, okay, he's playing a completely different role. He was coming in here. He was meant to be the second scorer next to Zach LaVine, which he looked good in for about the first 10 games he was here, and then immediately fell off a cliff. But I mean, playing the Grizzly veteran off the bench, coming in very much knowing your role. The video that he posted of him with the trophy, hilarious, bro. Like literally hilarious. And I will say this: the new trophy with the actual net stitched on the cylinder is ugly.
Yeah.
It's ugly.
I don't like none of the new trophies. I think all the trophies they don't look like they real gold. They look like they're plastic.
Yeah, because like, why would you act like we all knew what it was supposed to be? Yeah, did it kind of sometimes look like the basketball going into a trash can? It did sometimes on certain angles. You didn't have to add the net around the cylinder though. Like, that wasn't necessary.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of hate all of the trophies, bro. That's up there with Drake's new album.
I mean, you're not wrong. But how'd you feel about this Game 6? I know me and you were both hoping that it was going to go to a Game 7. Because that's it's good for basketball. It's good for the finals anytime you have a Game 7 where either team can win. But the Warriors pretty much led this game throughout. There was a brief time where it looked like Boston Boston opened up the game on a 12-2 run, and it looked like, hey, they out here to play. And then Steph said, hold my beer. Ended up finishing the half, the Warriors up by 5 after starting off being down by 10. And then at that point on, the Warriors basically controlled everything from that point on. But what did you think about the game?
That same, bro. I mean, honestly, you're talking about that. That was the only time where I felt like, man, Boston's really killing it right now. And I think I said it during the live. I stand by it. I think that they need a better point guard. Somebody that's going to initiate the ball movement, somebody that's going to facilitate the ball movement, because when Marcus Smart does that, they look unstoppable. Guess what? Every time they would go on a run, the ball movement looked amazing. That thing's flying around there, hits Al Horford in the corner, splash, 3. Hits Jason Tatum up top, splash, 3. Hits Jaylen Brown on the cut, easy layup. And then they would go stagnant. Very one-on-one, very now it's my turn, now it's your turn. Now it's my turn, now it's your turn. That doesn't get the job done. And I'll tell you this right now, in a closeout game where you're talking about an NBA, an opportunity to go back to Golden State to win an NBA championship, where was Jason Tatum last night?
6 for 18, 1 for 4 from 3-pointers, only 13 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, 1 block from Jason Tatum. That's not going to get it. That's not going to get the job done when you're supposed to be the guy on the team.
And we're arguing that he's a superstar.
We're not arguing that. This confirmed it. He's not he's a star. Don't get me wrong. Could he still turn into a superstar? Absolutely. There's still a chance he's only 24 years old, but a superstar right now? No, he is not.
And listen, I think this Boston team just needs to add a couple of pieces. I know there's some people that are going to overreact and say, blow it up. We got to get these guys out of here. Don't do it. Listen, You made it to the NBA Finals. It's a heck of an accomplishment. There's no
Absolutely.
slight there. You've been to the Eastern Conference Finals 3 times. Like, there's something here that clearly works. You just got to get it over the mountaintop. How do they do that? I think that is going to be going out, adding another point guard, finding a replacement for Big Al, because Big Al's not going to be there. Was he 37? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's
That
out there.
sounds
He
about
was
right.
playing the game of his life. He was playing how we hoped Jason Tatum would play.
I tell you what, to your point, it's not like they're far away. Like, for example, and I know he's not going to be available, but I'm just using this player as an example. If they were able to add, not even for what he brings scoring, but somebody who can just up the level of play there and be that level head that they need when it's crunch time, a player like a Chris Paul to come in, just a tested point guard to be able to come into that team would completely change the dynamic and outlook of how they operate offensively down the stretch of games. If Chris Paul goes to the Celtics, for example, instead of the Suns, they'd be champions right
now. Chris Paul legacy would say otherwise, though. I don't know about that. I don't know if I can
Chris
just
Paul
walk
does
down
have
that lane.
I feel.
I don't know if I can just walk down that lane, but I think the thing that, for me, right, you got rid of the point guard that you should have tried to make work. I think Dennis Schroeder could have come in there and been a decent facilitator, somebody who still could score the ball. I don't think they went hard enough on that experiment. They were just kind of like, Marcus Smart's the starting point guard. And I guess, listen, he got Defensive Player of the Year. It worked out for him, but you got to an NBA Finals. It worked out for you, but I just don't think that he's going to be the starting point guard on the team that finally wins you a championship in Boston. So I think I love, hey, shout out to the Celtics. On the flip side, though, all love the Golden State. All love the Stephen Curry. All love the Stephen Curry. I mean,
go ahead. No, go ahead, bro.
I'm sick of this. No, what did you see? I mean, you think about the last 2 years and then last night, and he just let all that emotion out, man. What did you see last night that you really felt like, yeah, this is Steph's moment?
I mean, everything, bro. Like, it literally, like the way that even that he came back on in the first quarter to help them get back to a 5-point lead after that start. Then down the stretch of the game, when it looked like Boston was going to start marching, because they got that lead down to 8, if I'm not incorrect.
It
like
was down
9 or 8. I know they got it down to
yeah.
single digits at one point. It really did look like, hey, maybe Boston is going to start pushing back here. And then Steph hit a 3. That was just like, it was like coming off a screen and doing a step back to add a little bit more space, nothing but net. And it was just like, oh yeah, the Warriors ain't losing this.
Yeah, it was disrespectful. It was literally like that. It was like when he knocked that down. And listen, I gotta say, Stephen Curry now has the greatest trash talk moment of all time in sports. We talked about this a little bit last night.
Absolutely.
He said, "Ring me in the third quarter."
In the third quarter,
like 7 minutes left. It might have been like 3 minutes, but it wasn't the fourth quarter with a minute and a half to go. Yeah. He was yelling, "Ring me" in the third quarter. That's got to be the greatest. I know this is gonna piss y'all off, but there's nothing you can do about it moment of all time.
Yeah. Like, and it consider, like, the crowd in Boston was ready, right? Like, when he did that, I just was like, oh, this is going to completely energize the crowd. But it almost felt like everybody was like, hey, man, listen, give him his ring.
What
yeah, Steph had a great moment. What do you think about Jordan Poole? I don't know if you got to see it or not. After the game, they're celebrating in the locker room, saying, I'm about to get a bag.
him and Wiggins.
Yeah, him and Wiggins.
I'm about to get a bag. You about to get a bag. We about to get a bag. Hey, listen. They're not wrong. They're not wrong. No. I mean, listen, you proved yourself, especially where Poole came from. Very different situations. You're talking about Poole and Wiggins, 2 separate ends of the spectrum. Andrew Wiggins, first pick in the draft. Didn't work out in his first city, now goes to Golden State, wins himself a championship, is a major part of that team winning the championship. Essentially kind of played the Andre Iguodala role in this finals, which was hilarious to see Iggy just coming over, just coaching him, being like, no, this is what I would do here.
Him and Gary Payton, the second. Like there's times where he called Gary Payton the second over too.
Yeah. And then Poole being the G League guy that worked his way up. Yeah, I'm saying fought his way back into the league. Second round pick for Jordan Poole, I believe.
No, Jordan Poole was a first round pick.
Was he a first round pick?
I believe he was picked in the late 20s. Hold on, I'll verify that. Go ahead.
But you know what I'm saying, working his way back into the NBA, fighting his way to being not only one of the better young scorers in the league, but also a big help on an NBA championship team closing out a game in Boston. I think that's when it took off. Like you knew what Steph was gonna do. Clay really didn't show up. You knew what
Game 6 Clay, that whole Game 6 Clay thing, we got to put that to rest now. That didn't happen.
Game 6 Clay was awful last night. My favorite part is Clay believes in it because he just be like, he was turning around just putting shots up. And I was like, good Lord.
Yeah.
It went in though.
Yeah.
But no, I think that they gonna get a bag.
Yeah.
That's
definitely they definitely gonna get it back. And we're gonna end this segment before we go next one just on this. For Bulls fans that are impatient, keep in mind Jordan Poole is 28 years old. He had to spend 2 years in the G League. He was the 28th overall pick. Sometimes you just got to take time on players. As we're going to talk about Patrick Williams at some point in this show. But all right, we're going to go ahead. Next up, we're going to be talking about a potential Bulls targeting Christian Wood is on the move, going to the Dallas Mavericks. We'll talk about that. But first, got to talk to you guys about BetOnline. Now, BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting, sports, and stats info. For all the latest sports developments, news, and odds, including this year's NBA Finals, because I'm not reading what they got in this read. They tripping there. The NHL Hockey Conference Finals, Major League Baseball, and, of course, the latest fighting news from MMA and UFC to boxing. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports raging and information, including live betting, esports, and more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, Pat. So, coming out of the NBA Finals, we're now free agency. It's going to be a very interesting about 30 days, right? From now over the next 30 days, we're going to have the NBA draft. We're going to have a bunch of trades. We're going to have NBA free agency and summer league, all starting within the next 30 days. How do you feel about this Christian Wood trade? A potential Bulls target. A lot of Bulls fans have been talking about Christian Wood for a very long time. He ends up going to the Dallas Mavericks for a deal centered around the 26th overall pick, Marquise Chris, who may not play this season, and a bunch of expiring contracts. What do you think about it?
Bro, the best thing is that like I was live on Locked On NBA. Me and Nick were live from Locked On Mavs, and literally I just looked at the deal, threw my phone behind me, and was just like, there goes my Coby White deal. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I thought the Bulls were gonna get in on that. Coby White 18, some other end of the bench players to make the money work. But clearly they just wanted the pick. They just and AK couldn't have called them because they would have took 18 over 26 any day.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like that sets the market. I think it's a good move by Dallas. I think they still got to go out and get. I think a lot of people think Christian Wood's a rim protector, and I would ask you to watch his game a little bit because I kept seeing that like, oh, we got some rim protection down in Dallas now, and I was like, he blocked shots. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a difference between rim protection and somebody that's just really tall and can block shots when the ball goes up.
And that's what Bulls fans try to do with Jeremy Grant. Like, you know how many times we heard, "Oh, we need a defender. Let's go get Jeremy Grant."
Actually, no. There's a difference though.
No,
Christian Wood can play defense on the perimeter pretty well. He's actually a good defender.
Oh yeah, Christian Wood is a good defender. I just meant as far as like adding in a skill that they don't actually have, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but Christian Wood is solid on both sides. I would have loved Christian Wood here. Like, let me be clear on that. Would have loved Christian Wood.
I think Jeremy Grant's a below average defender.
Oh, Jeremy Grant is a below average everything. Like, let's be clear here. He scores because he takes a lot of shots, but his efficiency numbers are god awful.
Hey, Jeremy Grant is in the perfect place for him to be. Jeremy Grant.
Either that or the Kings. Those are the perfect places.
Oh yeah, he's gonna dominate on the Kings, man. He's gonna get over to Portland. That man gonna be a nobody. He gonna be a lemon. But no, like I like the move for Dallas. I understand the move for Houston, right? You're getting a bunch of expiring deals. The 26 pick is really what you wanted in there. You're trying to find you're basically trying to find a bunch of guys that, hey, can you play it all? No, all right, get out. And we're gonna draft this guy at 26, whoever that guy may be. So I like the move on both fronts. But I do think it sets the market on Coby White. Don't you? Like we kept hearing AK's moving this 18th pick, Coby White in the 18th, Coby White in the 18th. Garbage and the 26th pick got you 17 and 10. What can the Bulls get if they are packaging Coby White, who I'm not gonna say is garbage? I don't think like Coby White actually can play basketball. I just don't think he fits our timeline and the 18th pick in the draft.
I think that this says that the Bulls can, if they can make the contract, like the contracts working is the biggest thing. I think like we'll see who's out there who's in that range, but I've always said Coby White can get you by himself a low first round pick by himself. So if you look at packaging him with the 18th pick, you're probably going to get something back pretty nice. Like I know as Bulls fans, we think that Coby has no value, but I think Bulls fans really like, yes, he was inconsistent. Yes, he didn't work out the way that we thought what we were getting when we drafted him number 7 overall. But when you look at half of the season, right? Half of the season, keep in mind, even the first part of the season, he wasn't healthy. But 3 months out of the season, he averaged 16, 4, and 3, I think, on 40% shooting overall from the field.
I think his value increased a lot.
Yeah.
off of the Wood deal. I will say that.
And one of the things that I've always said too is that it really every player's value is different to what team they're going to, right? A team may value Christian Wood completely differently than what the Mavs, but he brings everything that the Mavs needed as a big man down low. Yeah. So looking at Coby, depending on where we go, if he goes to a team that has this veteran that doesn't fit their timeline, and that's what we're getting back. But they're looking for anything to turn into something over the next 4 or 5 years while they're going to probably have high draft picks. Coby's value is high on a team like that. Coby's value would be high on a team like, I would think, to go back to it, the Houston Rockets. I think his value would be high on a team like that. The Sacramento Kings, value is probably high for a team like that. The Pacers could the 18th and Coby and making the contract work get you Miles Turner for a team that doesn't have any direction. Possibly, but I'm not big on Miles Turner, but I'm just saying, like, you got anybody who's been watching me on Chicago Bulls Central for the longest knows two players that I drag every single time I get a chance. It's Jello Ball and Miles Turner. Every single time. It's personal. It's personal when I get to drag them. But nonetheless, but
Jello live, man.
Man, no. I mean, he's G League Coby. Kofi's gonna be G League Shaq. That's what I hope they get to play together. G League Shaq and Kobe all day long.
That'd be entertaining as heck. I'm not gonna lie to you. If they were both on the same
Jello Ball coming off a Kofi screen. Come on.
And then throwing the lob up to that would actually be mad entertaining.
Only in the G League, though. That's not gonna happen in the NBA. Let them eat down there. But yeah, man.
No, I feel like I think you could go get a bigger name player on the Bulls side. Like I agree that Kobe's value is going to be increased, and it's not slander of Coby. I think it's just the Bulls. I don't know if Coby White has time to develop into the player he wants to be, right? Because even with this whole experiment, like we're to the point where we're like, hey, P. Will, this the year, my boy, you got to get it together. You know, you're doing all this workout, you doing like you can't come out and be 9-8. The season can't end with you 9-8 this year. Like a stride needs to be taken here, I think. And we were hoping we were going to see that from Coby, and I think injury did play into it. But I mean, I think you could package Coby. I said this on the Daily Show yesterday. I think you could package Coby in the 18th pick and go straight to Toronto and be like, hey, what's OG and what's Bouchard doing? Like, whatever his name. Chris Boucher? Boucher, yeah, that's what it is.
Do you really think they're really trying to move him, though? Like, I know there's been rumors about that, but do we really think they're trying to move OG?
I mean, I don't know if they're trying to move him. I know the only rumor I saw was that OG isn't happy in his role there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if he's going to be happy in his role here either, because it's like you're not coming in to start over nobody. So what is your role going to be? But I'm just saying, like, not specifically that player, but just that level of player. Like OG was 17-8 this season or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that level of player, I think you could definitely acquire by moving them. So I don't know, man. I feel like there's a lot of value that we didn't have that we now have. I like of course 18 had value, but I think Coby skyrocketed in this mug.
I mean, I think Coby already had. I don't look at it as skyrocketing because I think that value was already there. That we just the general public realizes it because listen, like I said, these NBA teams, they're not. It didn't all that deal didn't make Kobe's value go up, but it did set and let us know what value for players like that is around the league, and I think it's higher than what a lot of Bulls fans thought.
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know about that.
We'll see. We'll see.
Them mugs. That's a tough sale, dog. Yeah, we got this 22-year-old inconsistent 3-point shooter that has hot months. Hopefully, it happens on the playoff time. It didn't for us. But before we get into this final topic, man, we appreciate you guys for tuning in and rocking with us and showing so much love. We have an important favor to ask you. We put together a survey so that we can learn more about listeners like you and make your favorite Locked On podcast even better. This is your opportunity to tell us what you like and don't like about Locked On Podcast. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey right now to get started. It won't take very long, and everyone that completes the survey can qualify for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Ticketmaster cards. To take our audience survey, go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey. We appreciate y'all for the help, man.
There you go. And listen, we will flame y'all. Moving on. Moving on to the next topic. Rudy Gobert seems like he may be on the move to Atlanta. Now, it's a rumor deal right now, but it seems like, listen, it's a hell of a deal. It's really set the market for a player like Rudy Gobert. So they are the number overall 16th pick. John Collins, Kevin Huerter is what I read as well. And possibly Capella being involved in that as well, or some machination of those players. What do you think about that market being set for Rudy Gobert? Now, for the Bulls fans also, we're going to link this back to the Bulls that think that the Bulls could have went out there and got Rudy Gobert. I think that market set the Bulls out because they're not willing to include Patrick Williams. That officially priced the Bulls out of the Rudy Gobert market, which is something that I think we both kind of said is like, I know we talked about the possibility of it bringing in and what that would look like for the team, but I think we both said, do the Bulls actually have enough to actually make that deal happen, considering the fact that we didn't think that they would include Patrick Williams? What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that's a lot to give up for Rudy Gobert, but you almost have to, right? Even just to make the money work. I think Rudy Gobert on Atlanta looks a lot better to me because because Donovan Mitchell's not there, because I'm pretty sure Trae Young is going to pass him the ball. I'm pretty sure Trae Young is going to get the ball to him. And everybody's concerned about the spacing. I'm pretty sure the spacing is going to be okay when Trae Young's putting up 40-foot 3-pointers and there's this large 7-foot dude down there grabbing the rebound and kicking it right back out to him. Like that's the biggest difference I think that it's going to make on that team. I like the move either way. The only concern that I have about the move is that now who's going to play defense next to Rudy Gobert? Are you setting him up for a situation where it's literally just, hey, Rudy, you got that? Appreciate you, Rudy. Appreciate you on that, because I miss that. I miss that. Nobody's playing defense but you. So I don't want to see that situation again. As far as the Bulls, though, right? Like, I don't know. I think once we saw that P. Will would not be included in anything, the Bulls were out of it. I don't think there was like, I think they could be in it, but like, it's like we said the other day, dog. Like, I don't know if Rudy Gobert's that level of player, but AK better be right. Because we have passed on some names that we could have
rumored. Right, we don't know how realistic those deals were. The Rudy thing, I think, was that if the Bulls would have included Patrick Williams, I think Rudy Gobert would be a Bull right now.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing is, every deal that was talked about included Patrick Williams. So, but like, I don't think it's one where we're gonna look at it and be like, man, really missed that opportunity. But like, hey, I hope AK's right, bro. I really do, because he's holding on to this piece like he is going to be the man. So it's going to be interesting to see, man. I mean, where do you feel the value is right now? Are the Bulls overvaluing Patrick Williams a little bit, do you think?
No. A 20-year-old player, I don't think right. Could it end up being that they were over-evaluating him? Yes, I'm not saying that when it's all said and done that it may not end up that way, but I think right now, at a 20-year-old player that has shown the flashes that Patrick Williams has shown, you don't give up on that. Because let's take the Minnesota game, right? And people are quick to throw out, well, the Minnesota Timberwolves weren't playing the starters. Well, hell, we weren't either. But guess what?
Actually, they were.
He was on the floor with Anthony Edwards, who who's everybody is high on, and he looked better than Anthony Edwards every moment of that game.
Yeah. That was. Now, I don't know how hard Anthony Edwards was playing, but Anthony Edwards also seems like one of those guys that his motor's always running hot. Anytime he's on the court, he's gonna try to cook you. So it was pretty impressive to see how he was like guarding Ant and playing against Ant. The flashes of P. Will. The only thing, and maybe it's Bulls PTSD, right? We always seem to end on Bulls PTSD. Maybe it's me having concerns about the flashes that that have happened in the past, right? Where Lowry has shown us a month, Nico has shown. Literally, we've gotten months out of everybody. Kobe's given us a month, Nico's given us a month, Lowry's given us a month. The Wendell, Wendell, no, he didn't give us a month.
I don't think so. He gave us like 2 games back to back sometimes.
Yeah, I probably agree. I'd probably agree with that assessment of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we've got the PTSD there because, like, really, like, P. Will came back. He had like 3 very subpar getting used to the ball games, and then he kind of started getting it together, started scoring in double digits, had the 35-point game, goes into the playoffs, guarding Giannis, ends up with 20 on 2 games in the playoffs, 20 plus on 2 games in the playoffs versus Giannis. You know what I'm saying? So I hope there's something there. Yeah, saying I'm really hoping there's something there, but I mean, I don't want to look back on Patrick Williams, whose potential is high, and say that, man, we really missed out on something guaranteed. I don't know if that deal has come yet, though. I can't.
That's my thing too. The reason why I'm not as negative on it as well is because there hasn't been a deal that I've heard Patrick Williams name in that would make the Bulls a surefire championship team.
I'd surefire like there's no Kevin Durant there that would do it, but I fully believe Rudy Gobert would help you with that.
He would help. I'm not saying he wouldn't help, but
move you in the right direction.
Rudy Gobert doesn't even make the Bulls a surefire Eastern Conference finalist.
I would disagree with that.
When's the last time the Utah Jazz were in the Western Conference Finals?
Bro, again, they don't use that man.
It doesn't matter. When's the last time? But there's nothing to say. You can say to any team, well, maybe they aren't using him correctly. There's nothing in Rudy. Rudy Gobert helps the defense tremendously. He is a generational defensive talent. Don't get me wrong. But with what they would have had to give up just to make the contracts work, it's nothing to say that the Bulls would have been a surefire Eastern, like, because of look at what hurt us. Size did hurt us some in the playoffs. The lack of rim protection did hurt us somewhat, but the inability to hit shots, the fact that we weren't hitting threes consistently, the fact of nothing coming off the bench, those things hurt us just as bad. Rudy Gobert doesn't help with any of that. Rudy Gobert ain't going to be out there shooting.
No, but I will say this, right? You said maybe they wasn't using them right. No, you can watch them games. They don't use Rudy at all.
No, but there's also some things you can say. You can watch those games. There were absolutely times where Rudy had smaller players on him that he did not take advantage of. And there were times where they didn't go to him too.
I agree with that. He don't got a post game.
So
he doesn't have a post game. His game is I'm tall. Yeah. But sometimes I'm tall work. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'm tall. You can just go down there and make it work, especially in the pick and roll with Lonzo. I think you would be in a better position. But even with that, right? Like, I don't know if I feel like I would like if Atlanta does get him and I'm right, and all of a sudden this man is putting up 25 a game because Trae Young is just passing him the ball. Even with that, I don't feel like I'd be like, oh man, we missed on that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see what the long term brings on it. I'm excited to see where this where this trade market goes, bro. We got what 9 days left to the draft. You know it's finna just be foul.
Oh, 9. We
Trade.
got way less than 9 days left to the draft, bro. The draft is
Next
Thursday.
Thursday.
We got 6 days to the draft.
6 days.
Bro.
My bad.
Yeah.
6 days. Yeah. So yeah, bro. I'm excited. I can't wait. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I love this time of year. I'm finna just start dropping all of this. I've waited on dropping a lot of the like the draft breakdown videos because everybody's dropping them at once. I'm like, nah, this is the week to drop everybody now. Now it's just throw his name out there, because now the mock draft's finna be in disarray. It's finna be, oh, he's moving up the board, he's flying down, he's awful, he's great, he's terrible. I love this week so much.
Oh, it's definitely gonna be a fun week. It's gonna be one of those. The draft is gonna be fun. There are gonna be so many moves during this draft that it's gonna be such fun times. That's all I can say,
bro. And just to see what the Bulls do, and just to have some Bulls news. We've talked about. We've spun so much for y'all to make this a Bulls podcast. Yeah, we're stretching this out like taffy right now. That's what we do, man. That's what we do, just for you guys. Shout out to y'all, man. I think that's it, bro. We good?
We good, man. That's it for today. That's it for today. That's it for the week, man. We will see you beautiful people next week, man. Go and give them the spiel over there, Pat.
Follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Also follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls.
You can follow me at CEO Haize, that's CEO Haize on every social media platform. Thank you for making Locked On Bulls your first listen every day. Now for your second listen, I need you to go and check on the Ultimate NBA Mock Draft. Listen, come on, man. We just talked about the draft prospects. They're going to have a big week. It's going to be crazy over there. The Ultimate Mock Draft, listen, you need to make them your second listen. You get the mock draft from over 50 insiders. It's spread out all over. This is the most comprehensive mock draft that you can find. Make sure you guys go and check them out. Follow them. They're available wherever you get your podcast. But that is it for Locked On Bulls for this week. We will see you lovely and beautiful people Monday as we prepare for the NBA draft and what AKME has up their sleeve, because we know we're getting something crazy.
Can't wait. Let's do it.